AEW has a big issue with Mercedes Moné that they got to fix, and I think they're actually on their way to doing so, but let's just hope that they are. In this video, we're going to be discussing this and what I think AEW needs to start doing because there is a trend going on and a trend in which they got to get around. Now, Mercedes Moné, look, she's regarded as one of the best wrestlers in the world, and it's been a centerpiece of AEW programming since joining in 2024. She's also won a ton of titles along the way. She's the current TBS champion. She's a New Japan Strong Women's Champion, a Rev Pro, undisputed British Women's Champion, and the Queen of Southside Champion. Now, her reign as TBS champion has recently hit over 300 days, and she is now expected to face or feud with ROH Women's Champion Athena for the title next. You remember Athena? You know, that former WWE star that went to AEW and then has just been put on ROH, a program in which no one and their dog watches instead of being utilized on AEW television, making her a bigger star and making the women's division a bigger star. No, we got to put her on ROH. Now, we don't know when this match is taking place. It could take place at Dynasty on April 5th. AEW is yet to announce it. In fact, I think AEW needs to hold off. Hold off a month. You need to book it double or nothing. It's one of your crown jewel events, arguably your second biggest event of the year. Why not have that match be on that card? But there's also been an issue with Mercedes Moné, and it's led to this point. If you go back and you look at the people in which Mercedes Moné has worked with, her previous title defense was on Dynamite against Billy Starks. She then feuded with the likes of Momi Wannabe, Harley Cameron, Yuka Saki, Chris Statlander, Anna Jade, Queen Aminata, Emi Sakura, Hikaru Shida. Her last, in my opinion, real-time feud was against Britt Baker. It was against Britt Baker at All In. They built that feud up for months. It was an anticipated bout. It was a bout that everyone wanted to see. You had two big-time stars. And since then, as I just previously mentioned, she's not defending the title against anyone that's credible. I understand that Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné put on some banger-type matches. I'm very grateful for that. I was very entertained by that. But did I ever believe going into the match, the first one, or the second one, that Chris Statlander was going to get it done? No. In November, at Full Gear, they went nearly 20 minutes. I did not anticipate Mercedes Moné losing the championship. How about in their rematch, World's End following month? They went 25 minutes. Going into that match, I surely bet that Chris Statlander was going to dethrone Mercedes Moné. Here is the issue, and I hope that AEW actually does a title change. I actually hope when they book Athena versus Mercedes Moné that Athena wins the championship. And that's not a knock on Mercedes Moné. She's done really good things in AEW. She's held the belt for 300 days. She's put on some banger-type matches. In fact, I think Mercedes Moné, as a Mercedes Moné fan, is doing some of the best work of her entire career. From an in-ring standpoint, I don't think she's ever been this good. From a character standpoint, I think she's got it pretty dialed in and nailed. And I think that she's doing great things. But the issue is this. AEW has put Mercedes Moné so far high up on the card that there are very few and far between talents that can realistically not only challenge Mercedes, be a worthy contender for the title, but also be realistic in the idea being that she or this person can dethrone Mercedes Moné, right? Like I said, Britt Baker was really the only one. Now, I do think that Athena is definitely a worthy contender. I absolutely agree that Athena can be the one that dethrones Mercedes Moné as a TBS champion. I just said that I think that she should, but I don't have a lot of faith in AEW that they're going to do so. And we don't know when this match is going to get booked. Therefore, you have to really be careful with how you book Mercedes and how you book Athena. You don't necessarily want to book Athena to lose the ROH championship and then go right into a TBS championship title feud. But I also don't know if you necessarily want her to be the ROH women's champion and the TBS champion at the same time. But you could make the argument no one watches ROH. No one really cares about the ROH women's championship, so it doesn't really matter PBS Championship would have more prestige. It would hold more weight in the eyes of the casuals, and therefore it would be A-okay. I would also agree with that as well. Now, this started after, obviously, Billy starts losing to Mercedes Moné. She's somewhat considered the minion of Athena, and Athena came down and made the save. Now, switching gears, because I thought this was interesting, and I figured, well, let's talk about it. So on MercedesMones.com, her newsletter, she talked about and celebrated her first full year in AEW, calling the promotion a beacon of hope for her. In the article, it called for her saying that the last 12 months has been one of the most transformational years of her career, and poured on praise for AEW founder and CEO Tony Khan. She said, "Can you believe it's been a year since I embarked on this incredible journey with AEW? Time truly does fly by, and I can confidently say that this one been one of the most transformational careers of my years of my career." Jesus, easy for me to say. She continues, "AEW has reignited my fire, passion, and deep-seated love for the sport. It's a beacon of hope for me, and I am endlessly grateful for AEW and Tony Khan for this opportunity. I am privileged to share the ring with the absolute best women in the world, strong, fierce competitors who push me to elevate my game day in and day out. And let's not forget, their relentless drive inspires me to strive for greatness beyond compare." After thanking the AEW fans, she said that, after being told the sky was the limit, she went in and shattered the sky. She is committed to leaving an incredible and undeniable mark on the landscape of wrestling and the history of wrestling. Think about that, y'all. It's been a year. It's been a year. March 13th, episode of Dynamite, the big business episode of Dynamite. We got to see Mercedes Moné grace our television sets. Walk out there with her very obnoxious entrance theme, right? CEO, CEO. Yeah, you know it. You know it. You sing along to it. You know you do. I do it. Right? It's very catchy. It's very, very on. And that came at a time which, look, she tried to come in and she tried to do so as a babyface. It didn't work. But you know what? She's smart. She's like, okay, that didn't work. Great. That's fine. Now let's pivot. And she pivoted towards being a heel. She pivoted towards being the bad guy. And she pivoted to the strengths of her character instead of the weakness of her character. She didn't just bury her head in the sand and say, you know what? No, I'm going to be a babyface. No, be a freaking heel, man. Like that works. That's all good. So props to Mercedes Moné for recognizing the heel turn. But yeah, I'm looking a lot forward to the Athena versus Mercedes Moné match, and we'll see what they have in store for us whenever they book that match.